This is your brother, Antoine Tucker, better known as Tony-X. Currently, you're looking outside and you're thinking, are you going crazy? But you're not. The reason why you see people outside and upset is because they were led to be that way. But after this conversation that we have today, I'm going to ask you, will you be a leader? Of course, this country has an ugly history and past of racism. It's the one thing you hear the media talk about constantly, the one thing that you see mainstream Hollywood make tons of money off of, but you rarely see them show the true nature of how we survived that ugly history. How hundreds of thousands of brave men gave their lives up to end slavery. Even when segregation was invented by Democrats, proud Republicans fought for it tooth and nail until it ended. Women currently have their right to vote because of Republicans. Right now, blacks are free all throughout this nation. Free to work, free to be proud because of Republicans. And they'll tell you that the party switched. That's a lie. Since the beginning of print, the multi-billion-dollar corporations that we know now as the media, since the beginning of print, when they had control, the only thing they've ever done was depict blacks as anything but less than human. And these same individuals who owned these printing presses had sons. And their sons created these newspapers that continued with the same practices to this day. Fast forward, you have television programs that seems to always depict African Americans in an unsavory light. You see Hollywood celebrities silent about it, but always making innuendos on the fact that the Oscars will never recognize them and they will never find recognition on Billboard or any other platform that these liberals truly own. Why do you think so? It's because when the liberal controls what it is that you have to say, they'll limit what it is that you have to say. Tons of people you see that are black in Hollywood constantly complaining about not being able to get good jobs. Why the Oscars won't recognize them. They went and they took down Gone with the Wind, and that was the first black woman to win an Oscar, and they can just remove it. I've watched that these people went to remove Abraham Lincoln's statue in London, as if what he did for us didn't matter. He was shot dead for it. Giving the ultimate sacrifice in order to do the ultimate justice was what that man did. And that's how they dishonored him. You have people out there telling you that somehow Donald Trump's responsible for what's going on. And that's ludicrous. This man has been in office for 4 years. We've had hundreds, more than 400 years of bigotry and prejudice in this nation. And it has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Who do you think invented the KKK? It was the Democrats. Because once slaves were freed, the Democrats understood that they would never win an election again. All blacks would vote for Republicans. They invented the KKK as a terrorist group that forced blacks, murdered blacks and whites to go and vote Democrat. The parties never switched, but the tactics did. The main goal of the liberal today is to make sure that the black feels disenfranchised because they're the ones doing it to you. And they also make sure that your white conservative brothers and sisters feel powerless to talk to you. They want to own the cool factor. They want to own your poverty, your pain, and your suffering, and how your message is delivered. But if history needs to repeat itself, then I assure you, my brothers and sisters, you need to align yourself with your white brothers that are conservative, that aren't bigots, that aren't prejudiced, because most of them are not. 99.9% of them are not. I promise you. You need to align yourself with them so you can actually get your freedom back. There's a reason why they don't teach black history in the schools. Why they give you a month and they show you people with social achievements, but they don't tell you that the person who invented the oven was a black person. The person who invented the elevator was a black person. The filament for the light bulb, a black person. Black history isn't in the school books. Who do you think started the educational system that is currently brainwashing our children? Jimmy Carter's administration. Democrats. To simultaneously make sure that all our kids are uneducated together. And this just wasn't about black kids, because white kids and Spanish kids and Asian kids and Native American kids all receive the same curriculum, just like they do today. Our children are outside and they're destroying everything that we've built, everything that our ancestors died for, everything that Martin Luther King walked for and was spit on for, was jailed for, everything that Malcolm X died for. They're destroying. And the reason why they're destroying is because they've been led to do so. So now I ask you, will you be brave enough to tell yourself the truth? Will you be brave enough to look yourself in the mirror and say, of course this can't be about Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton has been in politics for 20, 30 years. Why hasn't something changed? If her husband signed the crime bill in '94, and she acknowledges that, in fact, it was racist, why when she was a senator for New York, did she introduce legislation to change it? She didn't. Why is it that when she worked for Barack Obama, the first black president, why didn't she, in fact, encourage him to do it? In fact, Barack Obama visited a prison and did absolutely nothing in terms of prison reform. The rules between crack cocaine and cocaine change was because of Booker Fan. It was an inmate that actually made the change in the disparity between crack cocaine and cocaine laws within the system. It was not Obama. Why is it that when Obama was in office for 8 years, he didn't get prison reform done? See, I see people saying Trump's racist, but I see that prison reform was done. Over 90,000 black and brown brothers and sisters coming home from prison. I see opportunity zones up and running. That's what I see. This isn't a paid program. No one's paying me to do this. This isn't even about my campaign. This is about me telling you the truth. The reason why the news media doesn't tell you about the opportunity zones is because they don't want those individuals who are successful and of color to go in and actually invest in their communities so they can actually receive benefits on their dollars. Or they will be talking about, if this was Barack Obama's plan, they will be screaming at the high heavens. Think about it. Black historical colleges, the most funding they've ever had in history, and it came from Donald Trump. Think about it. What more? You can't at the same time say you need help and realistically say F everybody. You can't actually expect help to come to you when someone is coming to try to help you and you tell them, no, I don't want your help. As of right now, this is where we are. People who have never actually worked for anything are going outside to take everything that we worked for.
These people did this for no reason.
And the parents that are allowing their children to go outside and you're not stopping them or even trying to stop them, shame on you. Shame on you. For the politicians that think that it's okay to defund police officers, to make sure that the officers within these communities can't do their jobs, shame on you. Because who's going to investigate the rapes? Who's going to investigate the child murderers? What's the true reason behind trying to defund our law enforcement officers? Because we know that you can hire personal security. We know that you can create laws to make personal security like police officers. So why defund the only help that we have? Why not create laws that just hold bad cops accountable? Why encourage people to go outside and find themselves destroying public property so then the public then has to pay for it to be fixed again? I ask you, watching this, are you prepared to be a leader? Because moving forward, we're going to have to lead the proper way. We will have to make sure that our children are loved. We will have to make sure that God is introduced in our homes again. And we will definitely have to make sure that everything we do in our power will protect, defend, and preserve the Constitution of the United States of America. Everything that you do moving forward will be you being a leader. No, you do not have to destroy public property in order to get your point across. Brothers and sisters, I know you are mad, but if you're outside destroying anything, this is not because of black lives and what matters, because 900 black babies will die in abortion clinics on average every single day. We care about babies. And instead of telling parents to discard those children's lives, why aren't we encouraging them and actually creating laws and legislation that will allow them to flourish as parents and create health? Why is that Planned Parenthood would quickly kill off your child instead of giving you the actual help and support, prenatal care? You think about it. Why is it that these individuals in Planned Parenthood are allowed to sell your children's fetal tissue to pharmaceutical companies and food companies? There has to come a time where you are going to decide to leave. Are you going to leave? The children don't get to pick who protects them. That's our job. The elderly protected us so we can protect them. No more distractions. No more blaming Donald Trump for things that have occurred before he even thought about running, before he was even born. All of these so-called black leaders, the Al Sharptons, who've had all the opportunities in the world, who's always told you they knew what your problems was, who's flying around on private jets, why is it that they haven't fixed the issue yet? They have all of this respect and power. Why is it that we still are dealing with these things? It's because it's a lie. It's a facade. And as a new leader, I'm going to tell all the leaders coming up, it's time for us to stand up and lead. Thank you for taking the time listening to me. God bless you.